The video you're about to watch is from a live stream at andyguitar.co.uk. My live streams on the website are this quality. They are YouTube quality. We've got 2 camera setups and I go live every Monday at 6 p.m. UK time. This session is all about blues players, 10 massively influential blues players from B.B. King to Joe Bonamassa and everybody in between. We're looking at the songs, techniques and highlights of these fantastic players that we can learn from as players, even if blues isn't our primary genre. I'm doing 2 live streams a week this October, every Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. UK time. So now's a great time to check it out. I'll leave a link at the top of the description, but let's make a start with my first choice, which is B.B. King. He refined, and some people say perfected, this kind of vocal-like playing. He phrased and played lead guitar like he's singing. Interestingly, we're going to look at a chord progression, but he never really played chords. So any of you guys that are like, oh, I hate playing bar chords, or my strumming's not very good, I wish I was better at strumming. B.B. King's a really great example of someone to look to, as are many blues players, because they never really strum at all, and they never really play chords at all. So what do? They purely see the guitar as a lead instrument, a bit like if you play a wind instrument. You can only typically make one note at a time. You can't play a chord on clarinet unless you have multiple clarinets, or a flute, or a recorder, any wind instrument. It is like a voice. You can only make one sound at a time. We can't really make chords with our voice unless we loop them, unless you have like a choral or a chorus of singers, or whether you record it and you kind of loop it. Taste and space are the 2 big words that come to mind, and also is vibrato. Any of you guys that have looked at doing all this kind of, all that kind of thing, B.B. King's your guy for all that. Definitely, he's the one to be looking to. And the one song that always kind of comes up is The Thrill Is Gone. I definitely recommend Every Day I Have the Blues as well, and Sweet Little Angel. We also have on the website Rock Me Baby. I think this is in the key of C, so this is a B.B. King song on the website. Okay, so, I mean, instantly, if I just stick to what he's doing there, you can kind of, even though I'm playing it, and I'm not really a B.B. King player, I'm a pop and rock guy, but you can hear that B.B. King thing there. And what that's doing straight away is mixing major and minor pentatonic and chord tones. So this is major third to octave, and then dominant 7, and that's your minor pentatonic. And it also changes to the chord that's playing there as well. So very, very cool stuff to be known about. But we've got a full tutorial for that on the website. So let's have a look at The Thrill Is Gone, which basically my B.B. King style study is based on, but I put it in the key of A. Originals in the key of B, for the B.B. King, of course. So let me have a go at my blue pedals also trapped under my laptop here. But let's have a look at this, and let's do kind of a B.B. King style minor blues. So it's still 12 bar, B minor, then to E minor, back to B minor, and here's the weird bit. F7 to E7. That's the bit that the first time I had, here's a confession, the first time I had a guitar lesson after I started teaching guitar was when I was 22. So I started teaching guitar and realized I was getting a couple of questions about picks and stuff like this from a variety of people, and I'm like, I'm not sure I have the greatest answer for a lot of these, so I'm gonna have one-to-one lessons myself. Let's find the best teacher in the area, who was called Jonathan Vipond, by the way. I believe he still teaches one-to-one in Sheffield, if anyone is interested in that. Great teacher, phenomenal teacher. Done a couple of videos online, but not much. first lesson he taught me is like, you're not quite following the chord changes. And I've been playing guitar a good 10 years, and I was good by then. I could do all the AC/DC solos and stuff like that. And I'm like, I want more of that. I want to be faster. I want to be better. And the thing that he tried to get me to play over was this. B minor. Let's actually, I've just remembered, I have another camera angle, don't I? So let's use it. Alright, let's go from the top. So it starts there. Over this chord. Let me play the B.B. King style study. Alright. And all that's happening there is you can kind of play what you want over the first two chords. But once you get to that F chord, I'm playing so many notes that aren't in that B minor pentatonic. You got to be careful. And the other, so you need to follow the chord a little bit. So I'm often playing literally an F chord, which sounds out of key unless I've got, unless I'm playing over that chord. And the other thing I'm doing when I go to that second chord, I will often hit this note intentionally. And often, you know, you're leaving space. So again, B.B. King style study, which is on the website as part of the membership. Then over that F chord, I actually hit the F note. But an easier one is probably that Rock Me Baby. Because that one is literally just... Hang on. Thing. Let's put my face back on the screen. There we go. So that's B.B. King. Let's crack on with a few of us, otherwise we won't get anywhere. Freddy King, we've done a Freddy King lesson. The Texas Cannonball, this guy's called. And he had a powerful blend of Texas and Chicago blues. The one that we've done, let's have a listen to this one on the website. We've got a tutorial for this one, but let's just have a quick listen to it. there's a 12-bar blues just started just then. But all of that start one, what's the chord? It's just a D. Just D minor pentatonic, but rather than doing it like this, start on the big bend. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can really see some of these bends and stuff. So let's have a look at this. Yeah. And I actually know this. Who was it? What's his name? I think it's called, I forget the lad's name. Another fellow YouTube guitar teacher who's fantastic, who does a lot of acoustic stuff. And when he wanted to do a video on Johnny B. Good, so like... And then all the bending's like... He's like the full song's just like the whole thing. And I've just knocked my guitar out of tune because... I may as well tell you as well that's a little sweep pick in there. Sweep picking, it's really cool. We've got a sweep picking full course on that. Sam Bell did with the old shred course. But back to the Freddy King. Neck pickup, humbuckers, crunch setting on the boss katana. Let's give you a full round of this. So let me go. Finish that. Super cool, super cool. Right, so next up, that's Freddy King and our final of the three kings. Albert King. This guy was called the Velvet Bulldozer. He used to play a Gibson Flying V from 1958. Right, 1958 model. The Gibson Flying V is known as a metal guitar these days because Metallica played them. James Hetfield from Metallica plays the big white one. But Albert King, the one you will probably all know. So let's have a round of this. This is Born Under a Bad Sign. This is in C sharp. What do you notice again about the lead line? Like so often, as you will hear in the original, just hit the octave. Just hit if we're in C sharp, there's enough happening on the riff side already. Let's have a listen to the original. Ding, like over and over again, he's just going ding. All the stuff that we teach in my lead guitar courses, but that would absolutely be my Albert King recommendation, and that is the Three Kings. So T-Bone Walker, he's the first player to popularize electric lead guitar in blues, the father of electric blues. We've done one on the website called the T-Bone Shuffle, which you'll hear is a real mix of kind of jazz and blues. He also did, so that was T-Bone Shuffle. You can find that web video on the website. T-Bone Shuffle by blues pioneer T-Bone Walker. And let's have a look, just make sure I've got the comments up. We will, there's another one that's like Stormy Monday. Call it Stormy Monday, Tuesday's just as bad. All that comes from T-Bone Walker. But yeah, the other thing about him is he was such a showman. We would not have Chuck Berry doing the splits, playing the guitar behind his head. We wouldn't have Marty McFly if it wasn't for T-Bone Walker doing it first, along with Sister Rosetta Tharpe, which I believe there's a new movie being made about her. There's like a stage play. She used to play a Gibson SG, just like a white Gibson SG. Like the Gibson SG that Angus Young plays. But let's finish up my top 5 blues players to like definitely everyone, whether you're into blues or not, check out and be able to play something over chords, riff, anything. By finishing up with some Eric Clapton. Can't go wrong with some Eric Clapton, right? And then we'll see how many of the others we're doing, or we're doing the rest on Wednesday. Because I do want to teach your requests. And we might have some other requests that might come in on the comments now, so we can have a look at that. But Clapton, why is he iconic? He was, from my research, the first British guitarist to become a guitar god. Now, he had so many people before him, like the Beatles, like the Rolling Stones and Keith Richards or stuff, but they were bands. They were either bands or singers. And then around then or before then in the 50s, I guess you had like Chet Atkins, Mr. Guitar, and, you know, you got the Shadows by them, but they were, I think the difference with all those guys is they were playing songs, they were playing melodies. And Eric Clapton was like, as I understand it, he basically saw Jimi Hendrix playing, absolutely had his mind blown and started doing more of that. After he saw him in London. was absolutely frightened out of his skin when he saw Hendrix play. Who's not on this list really, because Hendrix, he's that blues rock of the late 60s, which is really what Clapton's most known for. But it's just iconic, isn't he? You got Crossroads, but you got Layla. Of the very blues stuff, he did a album of blues covers. I forget what the album's called, but that's where Sweet Home, his version of kind of Sweet Home Chicago's done on that. So if I do a bit of a 12-bar blues thing, so 3, 4. Clapton became known as like a soloist. So like he'd sing a bit, but he wasn't a singer. He was singing to tell you the song, and then he could play his blues stuff. And the Eric Clapton style study on the website kind of mixes a couple of things. It mixes Eric Clapton's version of Cocaine. She don't lie, she don't lie, she don't lie. Cocaine. And it mixes this kind of, that kind of thing. So let me give you a round of this. This is the Eric Clapton player study, which has interactive tab. It's on the website now, but let me give you a rundown of it. We kind of play the Cocaine riff, but put it in a 12-bar blues format in the key of A. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. 2, 3, loop a pedal. Loop it. guitarists do like learning Eric Clapton songs because it makes a bit more sense to people who are like, okay, we're in A minor pentatonic here, but you realise that, we can go down lower, and then we can move higher, and there's actually 5 shapes. And a lot of people realise that they're actually stuck in shape 1 a lot, and they're not using a lot of box 2 or box 3. And back to box 1 again. Obviously, I'm giving you the bells and whistles there to keep it entertaining. Let's take a quick break now and have a look at Rowley's one. Let's answer your question, mates. Let's have a look at this. Seeing as Rowley's watching live, that's who we like to prioritise. Is that Think It Over you're watching? Think It Over, yeah, BB King. Let's have a look at this one. As soon as he's a player we've mentioned as well. So you hear that little dun-ly-dung. As soon as you hear like that style of playing, especially on a very clean guitar, you can really hear that that's with hammer-ons. And a lot of people think, oh wow, that's mega fast, I'll never be able to do it. Just by spotting the sound of it, you can clue in as a player, oh, he's not picking every note there. So, boom. I don't actually know whether he would have played it there. Let me get you on camera too. Sorry, I didn't realise we weren't on camera too. So I don't know, but I would try it both ways from a playing point of view. With that last note being the little finger. Or slide down to that, or do either way playing it here. Either way, it's the same note. So have a jam along again. See if there's a solo in it. Is there a solo in it? I feel like I'm back in Smokestack in Leeds, to be honest. What a bar. So let's have a look at Peter Green's as well, because he comes up all the time. I'll keep going until we kind of run out of time, really. I think the one that always comes back more than many and ties us into the next player, which is Gary Moore, is Need Your Love So Bad. This is one that I've not had a chance to do a video on yet, really should. By Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. This is where we go kind of a slow 12-bar blues in the key of A, and we have a couple of emotional note choices in both the leads and the rhythm. So let's have a... Let me try and play this for you first of all as a bit of a demo, and then we'll have a listen to how he does it properly. So, E and 4 and of thing, basically. Also got Albatross. You have so many cool things. But the difference in how Peter Green plays that to how Gary Moore plays it is worth a listen to. We're a bit short of time now, and we've almost done everyone. Stevie Ray Vaughn is the whole Texas blues. There's a lot more to him. Very Hendrix inspired, but the one we've done most is all that kind of thing. What else have we got with him? We got... which is Mary Had a Little Lamb, I think. And he also did a bit of, he does a great cover of Voodoo Child. Nicely touches on a little bit of Hendrix, doesn't it? Last two, finally, John Mayer. I think John Mayer's favourite stuff of mine is the John Mayer Trio, which would be Every Day I Had the Blues, which Every Day I Have the Blues, the John Mayer version, is pretty much where my lead guitar syllabus kind of finishes up. It's the last player studies. I think this is... So, God, let me remember some of it. Like every day I have the blues. Every day I have the blues. I can't remember the lick. There it is. So all of that, let me show you about that, because the first time I heard that I was like, what now? And it is again kind of a strum. The lick is... And when I'm actually doing the cool bits, it's just the strum of a chord with some hammer-ons and flick-offs of it. The other place I use this in the lead guitar syllabus is for the session player lick. Super cool stuff. That is where the lead guitar course kind of finishes as it is at its moment. Let's have a little listen to Every Day I Have the Blues. Every day. Every day I have the blues. Glorious. That is from Where the Light Is, a live John Mayer album, his cover of For a Day I Have the Blues. The only player there we've not really had a chance to cover is Joe Bonamassa, and I'd actually like to cover that in a future one, maybe on Wednesday, if any of you guys can join us on Wednesday, because it was a combination of... In fact, if I'd have never heard this song, I would have never written First Final Words, which is like probably the best song I ever wrote. And that's this one. So I won't even know the chords to this. So all that kind of... If you do this to it... You get my song, Final Words. And it's all from that slow gin, while she weigh the pain inside. I kind of started with that, and then I went... Sometimes you get lonely in the middle of the night. No one there for you, nothing left for fight. But then I was like, that's good, but that's not the key for my voice. So I ended up putting it in G. And that's how we get. Sometimes you get lonely in the middle of the night. No one there for you, nothing left to fight. But it does use a capo. Sometimes you get lonely in the middle of the night, though you I cannot see. I know you're watching over me. You left and never even said goodbye. You didn't have the choice, you're justified. You left me, all I had is disbelief, and there are no final words to speak. I wonder if I can remember my own guitar solo. Probably not, to be fair. The little run up. So all of that transpired for me to write Final Words by Andy Crowley, which is on Spotify, and I'm playing it from Spotify now. And I will leave a link to that. As inspired by, oh, that little ding, ding, that was all from Joe Bonamassa, and a little bit of the lick from, just to finish off on that, there's a little... That's from a little, that's nicked, there's this little one from... That is a Manic Street Preachers song, which I forget what it's called. I think must have been released about 2008, because it was a fairly recent one at the time. But that whole... That whole thing, that first move, that's why I did the slides. And then I added the Hotel California chord. So there you go. Learn some blues and you might end up writing some songs. I think we will leave it there. Dirty Pool and Life by the Drop. We've done Life by the Drop on the website. Oh, God. That's Life by the Drop, innit? Yeah, a few people got to run now, so we'll leave it there. But yeah, some great songs. But we've got a lot of this already taught with full tutorials with the tab and everything already on the website. And the player studies and the courses that these videos are from, they're the things that help you get your skills up if there's anything you don't quite understand about what it's using, so that you can do the actual point of blues, which is to just stick something on, like give us a little... Let me give you one more play out. Let me go. There's a really cool, like, there's a jam. Let me play you out with one jam track, which this might be my blues submission. If I just Google Crossroads jam track, yeah, kind of Cream style. I'll leave you this. Then I'm just playing the melody, okay? So, going down to the crossroads and drive down our line. Let's hit it to the octave. Let's have a go at this. So... Wasn't amazing? That's what we got. We'll leave it there. That's what it's like when you play live. See you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Remember, this was a live replay from the website andyguitar.co.uk. I'll be going live a little bit on YouTube as well this October, but twice a week for at least an hour. Most of the time it's 90 minutes, all at andyguitar.co.uk/live. Join me over there. The link's in the description. I'll see you there. Bye bye for now.